Hey guys, HuShang here. Welcome to another Starcraft 2 lesson. We're playing here against the strongest player I have ever played against, and probably ever will, unless I go and play on the Korean or the European servers, I think, because this is the #1 player on the NA server. In fact, he's the current NA champion. It is Neeb. And it's not every day you get to play against Neeb. He usually plays on the European servers, so I don't think I've played Neeb in like 2 years or something. I played him a ton in Legacy of the Void beta, and he basically bought me like 8 out of 10 games. But I haven't played him since then, and obviously he's much stronger now. I mean, in the beta everybody was experimenting with new strategies and stuff, so yeah, right now he's a different beast. He's the NA champion, so he's taking down Scarlet, he's taking down Estrella. I mean, he's really good at the video game, guys. So anyways, we're playing against Neeb. I'm super high adrenaline right now, thinking, okay, we gotta play our best, because then I'm gonna make a video on how Neeb destroyed me. So my adrenaline's super high. We're looking around here, and Neeb is actually like super annoying. He's harassing my mineral line like crazy, like just constant harass for the first 2 minutes of the game. So at this point I'm thinking, man, we gotta work on our early game, because this is just infuriating. He's way better than me at the early game. You can see here my probe is like almost dead, whereas on this side all my probes are like not mining efficiently. So yeah, it's really bad. But okay, so we're both gonna go double stalker. Neither of us is going for any adepts. And I think this is more the meta these days, because the double adept, even though it was really insane in the beta, or even like the first year since the beta, it's at this point in the game, it's you know, everybody just has so much practice against it that it's much safer to go for double stalkers. So yeah, basically doing the same opening. I think right now is where the real differences come in though. So I'm going to be going for a Nexus, and he's going to be going for 4 Stalker. So yeah, I'll get the Nexus, and then I'm going to get some 2 more Sentries, and basically play this from a defensive standpoint, which is kind of the opposite of how I would expect a game against Neeb to go, because, I mean, Neeb is kind of notorious for being a defensive beast, and I am usually playing super hyper aggressive. So yeah, Neeb is taking the aggressive role in this game, and I'm actually taking the defensive role. So yeah, how we can expect this game to go is basically Neeb is going to go for some 4 stalker pressure. Have a little bit of an edge on like map control, and what else? Like potential to do damage. Whereas I should have a slight eco lead if I defend correctly, and then I should have some faster scouting as well, is traditionally how playing defensive works. Now, because I saw him open up double stalker with my probe, I know that there's a potential for him to go for 4 stalker pressure already without seeing you know, what he's doing. So because of that, I'm going to be going for a shield battery, just playing it safe. And then that way, if he does go for 4 stalker pressure, which he is, then I can defend. He could also potentially be going for like double stalker, double sentry, just like I am. And so, you know, getting this shield battery is a little bit weakening, but you really got to play things safe in StarCraft. So we're just going to grab that, and then we should be fine if he goes for the pressure. Speaking of, here he comes, this 4 stalker poke. And then you can see behind this is just like very light pressure. He's going for a Twilight Council. He's going for some sentries. I really don't like how he set this up, by the way. He really didn't like put them in alignment at all. But some nice focus here. He's trying to drain the shield battery energy so he can come in and pick off my stalkers. But nice little force field by me, if I say so myself. And yeah, we actually pick off 2 stalkers. So I'm feeling good right now. I'm like, oh shit, we're winning against Neeb here. Let's make sure we don't lose this game, because we've got a small advantage. The only downside right now after this exchange is that I used up my sentry energy, so I don't have any way of scouting. So I'm kind of blind right now, which is unfortunate. And we have no idea that he went for the double sentry follow-up. I mean, we can see here, obviously, a full vision. And he did go for double sentry, but if you just imagine what he could do with that money if he didn't make the sentries, he would have, you know, an extra 200 gas. So instead of going for the sentries, he could have, for example, thrown down a Dark Shrine. Or he could have, for example, thrown down like a Stargate and started making oracles, right? And so because of that, I kind of need to play this more safely than I otherwise would have to. So because of that, I'm going to be throwing down a shield battery. I'm going to be getting a robo. And even though I picked off 2 stalkers here, we're kind of losing some of that advantage just because I have to play safe. So it's not perfect, but yeah, I think we still have a slight advantage, which is nice. Now, on the other hand, Neeb does not need to do any of that. So Neeb's just going to continue warping in stalkers, and he's going to just be checking if I am going for something crazy, like the DTs. But he comes in here, he sees the Twilight, he's going to see my robo. And so from Neeb's perspective, he can basically just make stalkers and take his third base. Like, there's no real worry about any of these, you know, cheeky strategies. So I think we're both playing perfectly so far, even though we're doing different things. It's just, yeah, the circumstances for each of us are slightly different. Okay, so now that I have this safety, oh, I also got a forge. I mean, we're both getting the forge. After this safety, I'm going to go grab my third base. Neeb is going to do the same. We both have about, you know, 8, 10 stalkers, something like that. I guess I'm on 6 and he is on 7. So very similar stalker counts. You basically just want to keep making them if you're trying to figure out how to play PvP. You basically keep making stalkers. As soon as your warp gates are ready, you warp in 2 more. We should see Neeb get another 2 in a second. Same with me on my side. And then you just want to keep scouting and see if they're doing any sort of all-ins where you would need to get more gates. But you can actually take your third base very safely off of just 2 gates and continuously warping in stalkers. So my Phoenix comes in here and I see Forge, Twilight. I see, you know, 2 stalkers being warped in. So basically he can't be all-inning me. He's got to be macroing. So not super worried. Shield battery just in case. But yeah, maybe we don't even need this, honestly. And I think Neeb made his first mistake. So I don't... well, I mean, besides losing the stalkers, obviously. But, you know, more of a strategic mistake here. He got his shield battery before he got the Nexus. And I think this is not a good thing to do. Unless you just have, like, no info. But if we go to Neeb's perspective here, he actually has seen my third base already. And so because he's seen this, I don't think he should have... got the shield battery. But yeah, maybe the idea with the shield battery is that he lost 2 stalkers earlier, and so he thinks that he needs this, but actually he really doesn't, objectively, because he's seen my robo, and the robo costs the same as 2 stalkers, and so there's no reason to get the shield battery until you've got your Nexus. So very, very tiny mistake. I mean, I wouldn't even point this out in my sessions with like a GM student. But yeah, since it's Neeb, I think this is a mistake. Okay, so we basically both confirmed at this point that we have third bases. So at this point in the game, you should be thinking about your transition. The most standard way to go about this position is to go into charge. I would recommend you go charge if you're trying to learn PvP. But I suppose you could also go for, you know, like a Robo Bay. And then maybe grab like 4 gas or 5 gas and just play this like Stalker Disruptor style. I think that would be okay. But the charge style is way more standard. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I think that's what Neeb is doing as well in a second. We're also going to be adding some gates, of course. I'm making this nice little wall off. It's super extra, but yeah, I kind of like this because then the adepts can't shade in as easily. Like they kind of get blocked over here, which is kind of sweet. So this looks very greedy, but just keep in mind, we've both seen that the opponent is playing on 2 gates only into a third base. So you can kind of extrapolate. They can't really be doing any all-ins. right? So that's why you're able to get away with this. And if, you know, you're playing a game on ladder and you do this and then you die and you're like, what the fuck, man? It's because you're not really paying attention to the scouting info, right? Like, you want to do this up until a point where you see them committing to macro, and then it's okay. But, I mean, if you don't see them committing to macro, you should be making more stalkers. Right, so this is only if you see your opponent macroing as well. So now, Neeb has deviated from what I thought was standard, or what I do as standard, which is going for the Templar Archives. So I'm kind of setting up for like a 3 base, 4 gas charged Archon. But for whatever reason, Neeb is actually playing 3 gas. And yeah, I honestly don't really get it. I might have to watch some more European PvP, because they were doing what I'm doing, but now they're only doing stalkers. I've seen quite a few Protoss do that. I'm not really sure why though. Okay, a little exchange here. He's got more stalker than me, but we are able to trade pretty evenly actually. Maybe even slightly better, because he's losing stalkers and I'm losing zealots. Yeah, so we got like a 300 mineral lead here. Some of that's from earlier. Yeah, so he's just on 3 gas, and he goes for a Dark Shrine and a Robo Bay, which is a lot of gas. So, I mean, this is very confusing to me actually. When I was playing the game, I didn't even look for what he was doing, because he only had 3 gas, so he's basically locked in to like Stalker, Zealot, maybe Archon, potentially, like 1. But yeah, I didn't even scout for any of this tech, because it just seems so impossible for him to be going for anything. But yeah, he is getting this, so I mean, if he wants to make Dark Templar and Disruptors, he has to make only Zealot, because he just doesn't have enough money to make anything else. Whereas on my side, I have 4 gas, and so I'm able to sneak in some Archons. I think I have like 1 or 2 maybe right now. Yeah, the second one's just coming in. And so at this point in the game, my army is way better. So as long as we don't just like let him sit back here and go for an attack, we should be able to beat him. So I'm getting a War Prism. I'm going to go for a push. I thought this would just be some pressure, actually. I thought we would just yeah, go across the map, see what he's got. And then if he's got a similar sized army, I would just pull back to my 4th, add some cannons, and just kind of play a normal macro game. Let me move this up a bit. So we're setting up for this. We're on like 3 base saturation basically, and the 4th base is just going to act as a place to transfer my probes to. So you can see I'm moving some over here. Setting up for this attack. And I'm completely ready to just pull back here. Like right now in the game. I'm thinking I'm about to move command back here, but when I came up on him, I saw that he had 0 Archons, and so immediately I was like, okay, I guess we're going for it. We just commit to this. And that blink was a little poor, because I should have went for the shield battery. But right now I'm just in disbelief, because, I mean, we're playing Neeb, we're playing, you know, the #1 NA player, and he has, like, no units. So I was kind of worried. Like, what is he going for? Like, why do I have such a massive army lead right now, where we're, like, having no contest in this fight? So I was thinking, like, okay, maybe there's Dark Templar or something. So I'm thinking about, okay, I have an observer over here, we're good. Just don't lose our War Prism. I was really worried about that, actually. But we were able to kind of maneuver it there and save it. And then, yeah, I was just thinking, like, he's probably going to have some Disruptor coming, or Dark Templar, or I don't know, he's got to have something else, right? So yeah, the Dark Templar showed up, and I pulled back. I'm making like an observer right now, and I'm adding some cannons. And I almost lose the game right now, actually. Or maybe not lose the game, but make it really a lot closer than it should be. Because I left my army here on a move command. And there's a disruptor on the way. And what I should have done is move commanded it like way over here. Or even back to the middle of the map. Although that would be not as good, because there's a choke point here. But I should have moved it away. I definitely should not have left it here. while I go make cannons. This is like a cardinal rule you guys can follow, actually, is if you're not going to look at your army, send it home or send it really far away, because if you're not watching it, shit like this can happen. And luckily, I think I looked back there exactly as that shot, so I was able to target fire it with my Zealot Stalker, and it barely went down. So I think I ate my tongue there, but we're good. We're okay. I just need to back up, collect my observer, and then we can come back in, hopefully, for the kill. So here we go. As I came back in, I saw this Archon Morphine, so I target fire that as well. Just to make sure it doesn't get any shots off. Usually that type of micro is bad, but in this situation, it's actually good. And then this disruptor didn't do too much just because my units are so spread. And I think Neeb looks over there, saw that disruptor went down, and he taps out. So I actually beat Neeb, which was insane. Going into this game, I thought we were going to get an absolute beatdown. But yeah, I mean, we beat Neeb, so I was super pumped. I think I was more pumped for this than like anything in the past 3 or 4 years. The last moment I remember being this pumped was actually my local tournament at Baseline, like my first win at a Starcraft 2 tournament. So yeah, super amazing game. Really, really happy and surprised that I won this game. But I think that's all for today, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this analysis. If you got some questions on PvP, you can either leave them in the comments or get a direct lesson with me on my website, HuShangCoaching.com. And I think that's it, guys. So yeah, I will see you in the next one.